Hey, Jen Springer of jenspringer.com and livegreen.solutions. So I'm going to talk right now about adrenals. I've got a lot of videos on this channel that talk about adrenals, adrenal fatigue, blah, 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 blah. I just want to give you some tips on the most, I think how do you want to say it? The biggest challenge with adrenals is not necessarily even high cortisol, it's low cortisol. And low cortisol is when your body has gone through a stressor and you have burned up through your cortisol. Like you have no more raw material to make cortisol. Your body has robbed from your pregnenolone and your progesterone and it is pulled from all that, and there is nothing left to make cortisol. So what happens in this situation is really strange. You get weird anxiety, like tremoring. You feel really intense. You always feel like your blood sugar is low because that cortisol helps the sugar get escorted into the blood to the cell. And I know this for a fact because I had really bad low blood sugar, and a huge piece of that was my really low cortisol. So if you have low cortisol, you're going to be hypoglycemic. You're going to feel really jittery. You're going to feel like hungry all the time, like you're just not getting any nourishment. You know, you can get a 12-hour cortisol test. I encourage you to do that either through a health practitioner, or you can go to canaryclub.org and you can order a 12-hour cortisol. It actually shows as a 4x cortisol plus DHEA, and that's what you want. You want to measure it 4 times. And if you're really having some issues, a lot of times your practitioner may even do a 24-hour. So find somebody, if not, go to Canary Club and you can get it through there. But low cortisol issues are often overlooked. Everybody talks about high cortisol, and there are a lot of herbs and nutrients that help bring cortisol down. But if you have low cortisol, you don't want to bring it even lower. So I'm going to give you a couple quick tips on raising your cortisol if it is too low. One of my favorite things is licorice root extract. I love licorice root extract because it tastes good. You can make a tea out of it. You can put it in your morning, shot or whatever it is. My cortisol was really low in the morning, so I would do my my licorice root in the morning, and if I was waking up or throughout the night, I would take it right before bed, and if I woke up, I would take it if I woke up. All right, so I would just keep it like right next to my bed. So licorice root is a great help. Vitamin C is an incredibly huge help. Your adrenal cortex, your adrenal medulla, everything, your cortex is where this is stored, and you want to, keep that vitamin C up pretty good. I love lipospheric vitamin C. You can learn how to make your own lipospheric vitamin C because it's very expensive. It's usually about $1 per 1,000 milligrams, which is a gram. So, I like to see anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C, sometimes higher depending on the individual. The third thing is vitamin B5, pantothenic acid. Between 1,500 and 2,000 milligrams of that a day will help the adrenals come back into their place. Those are some of the critical nutrients that are needed. Some people do really well on some of the herbs. You got to be mindful. When I was in that, I call it like that when I was in that really funky stage 2, stage 3 adrenal fatigue borderline, I couldn't take any stimulating herbs. I couldn't do even I couldn't do rhodiola. I couldn't even do decaf tea. I couldn't, even get close to coffee because I was like on that wired. I wasn't even tired. I was wired. I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, like all the time. So you've got to keep calming the body. A lot of chamomile, passion flower. I'm trying to think of what else I did. I could do some holy basil or tulsi, and I just was calming, valerian, like tons of valerian. Diffusing essential oils that just created that tranquil feeling. There was just so much that I was doing to just calm the body and get it out of that fight or flight status, because when you're low cortisol, you're in like a sympathetic overdrive. You feel like the tiger is going to eat you at all times. So I hope these couple tips really help you. And there's a lot more than this, but those are some big tips to help get your cortisol back to normal level. I do encourage getting the test once again. The 3 things that I mentioned most importantly was licorice licorice root, the vitamin B5, pantothenic acid, and the vitamin C, okay? And of course, if you can remove the stressor in your life that created this adrenal issue, that's also critically important. For us, it was environmental. You know, it was living in mold and living in a toxic home. Our body just ran out of juice and our adrenals got totally trashed because of that. So you got to get that stressor removed as well. It's very, very critical. So make sure you subscribe to the channel here and come and visit me at jenspringer.com or livegreen.solutions. And through jenspringer.com, you can send me a little message if you have any questions or need any help. But I hope this helps you, and share with others so that they can know these things to support their adrenals, especially if they are beyond that initial stage 1 where the cortisol is high. Because for what happens in stage 1, the cortisol is really high, and then stage 2, it's kind of high and low at the wrong times of day. And then as you get to stage 3, you're really low cortisol, and that is a bad place to be. So, signing off, this is Jen. We'll catch you guys soon.